Hello everyone. She's Iana Kasian, a model from Ukraine who traveled thousands of miles to the US to chase her dreams. She thought she'd found the perfect boyfriend, even had a child with him, and a happy life seemed just beginning. But who could have imagined that just one night later, she'd be brutally murdered? The killer's actions were so savage, drenched in blood, it enraged everyone. The cruelty of this case could rival the world-famous Black Dahlia mystery, and it's called one of the most vicious and unique crimes in Los Angeles history. So what exactly happened that year? Why was the killer so ruthless? Next, let's rewind time to 2016 to dive into the details of this case. Los Angeles is a bustling city in southwestern California, America's second largest. It's a hub of commerce, finance, and culture in California. Surely everyone knows the dazzling Hollywood blockbusters. Los Angeles is Hollywood's birthplace, producing countless legendary films that spread worldwide, shaping generations of filmmakers. The story we're telling today happened in this vibrant city, known as the City of Angels. Our main character is Iana Kasian, a 30-year-old model living in Los Angeles. She had deep eyes and long black hair. She was born January 27, 1986, in an ordinary family in Kyiv, Ukraine's capital. Little is known about her childhood, just that she was quiet and kind. From a young age, she was smart and sharp. Her parents pinned big hopes on her, especially in education, investing a lot in her. Iana worked hard, studied well, and graduated with a law degree, later working at Ukraine's tax agency, a stable job. Plus, since college, she loved fashion and modeling. After all, Ukraine's known for stunning beauties and top supermodels, so that environment pulled many girls in. With her looks and figure, she hit the runway often. Though Ukraine had tons of beauties and stiff competition, she still shone, making a mark on the catwalk. With a smooth, joyful life in Ukraine, staying there could have been fine. But she wasn't content. Deep down, she dreamed bigger, a grander stage, a tougher life. Her dream's target? America. In 2014, at 28, Iana finally chased her long-held dream, heading straight to the US. She landed in bustling Los Angeles, a paradise of entertainment, film, and art, perfect for her modeling career. The sunny beaches and bright skies of Los Angeles hooked her. Iana vowed to stay and build a family here. With years of runway experience, she quickly found modeling work, and her career took off. Some say she only got interpreter jobs, but either way, she settled fast in Hollywood. For her, life's picture was almost complete, just missing a sweet romance. If she found her dream prince, it'd all be perfect. Fate hit suddenly, unstoppable. At a party, a man named Blake Leibel caught her eye. At the party, Blake wore glasses, sat in a corner, looking quiet, not mixing with the crowd. Their love flared fast. They fell deep, became a couple, and got engaged. Iana was thrilled with Blake. He wasn't just rich, he was talented and spoiled her rotten. Soon they had a cute daughter named Dahlia. To care for her, Iana called her mom, Olga, from Ukraine to Los Angeles. To not cramp the young couple's vibe, she rented a place nearby. For Iana, with a loving fiancé, a sweet daughter, a house, a car, money, everything seemed perfect. Their happy, sweet life was just starting. But then, out of nowhere, bad news struck. On May 24, 2016, dread hit Olga. She couldn't reach her daughter. Iana wouldn't answer calls or texts, totally unlike her. Worried, she asked a friend to check Iana's apartment on Holloway Drive in West Hollywood. They saw her car in the garage, but no matter how hard they knocked, no one answered. From below, Olga peeked through the balcony window and saw someone inside like a guest. But when she yelled to open the door, they acted deaf and shut it. Panicked, Olga called the cops. 2 officers from the Los Angeles police rushed over. After knocking tons with no sound inside, they said they couldn't barge in, just got Blake's number from the building manager. But the call went to voicemail. No one picked up. That first police call ended there, The mom, worried sick, texted her daughter, "My darling girl, are you alive? I came to your place but no one opened. Please answer. I know he's holding." "You there, I've called the cops." With no reply after waiting, she called the police again. This time, after more silent knocks, the cops saw how bad it was. The lead officer found proof someone was inside. Iana's phone ordered food online at 1:40 a.m., May 25th, and 3 a.m., May 26th. Hallway cameras caught someone inside grabbing it. Weird. Someone was clearly there, so why no answer? The phone stayed. Dead too. Neighbors said no one had been in or out for 2 days. From clues Olga, Iana's mum, gave, the cops suspected Blake did something awful to Iana inside. No time to waste. They got a spare key from the building management, but the door was locked tight from inside, unopenable from out. With no choice, the cops decided to break in. After kicking the door down, it was pitch black inside. They stepped in carefully. After searching the living room, dining area, kitchen, workspace, and common areas with nothing, only 2 bedrooms were left. Trying the guest bedroom door, they found it blocked by a mattress. Someone meant to keep people out, but that didn't stop them. After shoving in, no one was there, just some bloodstains on the headboard. That screamed trouble. They rushed to the master bedroom. That door was locked too, blocked with a mattress and stuff. The cops yelled, "We know someone's in there. This is the police." A low voice came from inside. "I'm not coming out. You'll attack me if I do." The cops knew it was Blake right away. Barging in could make him flip, so they held off and talked nice. They said, "We're just here for Iana, nothing else." "Chill," Blake said. "My girlfriend's sick in a hospital nearby," even naming one. Of course, the cops didn't buy his lame lie, but the issue was Blake wouldn't come out or chat. For Iana's safety, they didn't rush in. It was a deadlock. Then a negotiator, like in movies, got called. But this time it wasn't a cop expert. It was Green, Blake's friend and accountant. After some friendly talk from Green, Blake finally stepped out. He wore just white underwear, looking beat. His left cheek had scratches and bruises, arms full of defense wounds. His left chin and arm had bite marks. Clearly he'd fought someone. The cops grabbed him fast, then searched the room. Right as they stepped in, an officer shouted, "She's here!" On the bed was Iana, still not breathing. After the autopsy, the coroner found a terrifying, shocking scene. Iana's body was almost bloodless. Her scalp was cut off, one ear gone. I won't go further. Point is, her head wounds were too awful to look at. She died from massive blood loss, arteries and veins ripped from heavy head trauma. She'd been dead at least 10 hours. The coroner said after the attack, she suffered in pain for hours, tortured brutally then. The cruelty matched the Black Dahlia mystery. Just thinking about it chills you. The coroner even said, "I've done this decades and never seen this. I bet no forensic doc or pathologist here or abroad has either." It was a rare, evil crime. Cops found blood everywhere. Mattress, headboard, rugs, towels, curtains. In the master bathroom tub, blood and hair stuck around. In the trash, a razor and bloody hair showed up. All this said the apartment was the crime scene. Plus, with so little blood there, it had been cleaned well. Using luminol, cops found tons of blood left on the carpet by the master bed and bathroom. From the trails and Iana's near-empty body, they figured she was dragged from the bedroom to the tub and bled out. They also found 11 trash bags in a public dumpster outside, each packed with bloody towels and sheets. One sheet had a clear bloody handprint, even an ear and other bits. After DNA tests, all the blood and bits matched Iana, the monster behind. This? Her boyfriend, Blake, no doubt. Though he'd showered and wiped down after, bite marks on him and tissue under his nails were Iana's. Under Iana's nails was his tissue too. The bloody right-hand print on the sheet, missing a pinky tip, matched Blake's right hand, also short a bit. With tons more evidence, Blake's crime couldn't be denied. So why'd he treat his girlfriend so cruelly? Blake Leibel, full name Blake Leibel, born 1981 in Toronto, Canada, wasn't normal. His dad, Lorne, was a real estate mogul in Canada, his company once among the richest developers there. Plus, he was a sailor who raced in the Olympics and got into Canada's Racing Hall of Fame. His mom, Eleanor, came from a rich family that started a big plastics company, so Blake was born loaded, with cash he couldn't burn through. But a rich family had drama. When Blake was small, his parents fought and split. Blake stayed with his mom, his brother Cody with his dad. Maybe that gap messed up his bond with his dad. After college in 2004, Blake moved to Los Angeles to live. He could have lived easy off family money without working, but Blake wanted to do something. LA's film scene was hot, so Blake dove in. Lucky, he wasn't dumb. As a kid, he loved games and comics, learning plenty about them in school. In 2008, Blake helped make an animated show called Spacebow. In 2009, he directed a comedy called Beau. In 2010, he put out a dark graphic novel called Syndrome. You could say in his Hollywood days, Blake wasn't lazy. His career boomed, making him a rising director and writer. Of course, his love life wasn't slack either. In 2006, he met model Amanda. Friends called her a party girl, always at Hollywood parties. At one launch party, she met Blake, who was there too. Blake was weird, though he liked fun at parties. He seemed shy and plain. That's what made Amanda think he was special and fall for him. They got together fast. Friends didn't back them. One loved parties, the other stayed home. They didn't fit. In 2011, Amanda got pregnant. They finally got married, tied the knot. The kid's birth brought some joy to their little family, but the personality clashes they ignored blew up daily. They fought all the time over differences. Slowly, they saw their friends' early fears were right. Maybe they shouldn't have paired up. They split but didn't divorce. That year, Blake's mum died of cancer, leaving millions. Blake thought he'd get her estate, but her last will gave him just a few million. Most went to his dad and brother. That pissed him off. He even thought his dad faked the will. Blake questioned it, but it died down. From then, he hated his dad. They turned into enemies. Around then, Blake met Iana, the Ukrainian. Their thing moved quick. Blake hid his marriage. When Iana found out, Blake said he was divorcing his wife to cover it. Blake wanting a divorce was real. In July 2015, though Amanda was pregnant again and due soon, Blake wrapped up the divorce and moved out. August, Iana got pregnant too. Things went fast, no delays. Then Iana moved into Blake's West Hollywood apartment to settle. She loved this romance. Blake seemed perfect. A rich heir with cash, he spoiled her. Bought her a Mercedes, diamond ring, house, plus their loves kid. The future glowed. She'd hit her dream of marrying and having a kid in America. May 2016, she called her mom, Olga, from Ukraine to Los Angeles to help with the baby. May 3rd, their daughter Dahlia was born. To give the young couple privacy, Olga rented a place near her daughters to help with the grandkid. At first, it was all perfect. But who'd guess 2 weeks later, Iana told cops Blake forced her into sex and sued him. At first look, their fight started here, but cops didn't think that'd make Blake kill Iana. Plus, Blake's friends said he had no record, was polite, had a big inheritance, not worth trashing his future. Even after the crime, Blake kept denying it, yelling he was innocent. He even said science had proved him clean, but all the hands-on evidence pegged him as the killer. No arguing that. So, what truth was buried there? After tons of digging, especially from talks between Iana and her mom before she died, cops found another side of Blake. He wasn't the nice guy friends claimed. Really, he and his brother Cody were big gamblers, pro-level players. Sometimes, his bets hit millions. There's a saying, gamble 10 times, lose 9. He wasn't spared. He ended up deep in gambling debt. Cody's bets pissed off dangerous people. Blake even feared his brother'd bring ruin to the family. Beyond gambling, Blake was hooked on weed and other banned stuff. He'd snap at his ex-wife and girlfriend, then beg forgiveness weirdly. Especially in Iana's last pregnancy months, their bond got tense. That's why Iana called her mom to help with the kid. She cared about this tie and wanted to fix their cracks with time together. But that plan clearly flopped. Just days after their daughter Dahlia was born, Blake's mood crashed. He got prickly, always shutting curtains, smoking drugs day and night in the apartment, filling it with smoke. He didn't care about his daughter, even hated her. He resented her taking all his girlfriend's focus and time, ignoring him. He only cared about his needs and urges. Days after Iana gave birth, he forced her into sex. Blake even threatened her outright. "If you don't please me, I'll find another woman." He said it and did it. Cops found out while Iana was pregnant. Blake was with 3 women at once. Besides his ex Amanda, there was a woman named Free. Free said on their first date with Blake, he assaulted her and gave her an STD, so she sued him. Crazy, she later forgave him, and they became secret lovers. To make cheating easy, Blake set Free up in another apartment he owned, while still tight with his ex-wife Amanda. Iana's mom Olga told cops that though she hadn't been in Los Angeles long, after a few days around them, she saw Blake was super controlling and dangerous. So she told her daughter to move in with her. But somehow Iana kept going back to Blake. Maybe she really didn't want to drop this love. 2 days before she was killed, Iana was shopping with her mom at a mall. But right when she got a text from Blake, she got jumpy and worried, rushing off to find him. No one thought that'd be the last time they saw her. She vanished, never came back. Prosecutors say Blake's motive was jealousy and rage at the kid. Her birth made him feel he'd lost control of his girlfriend, sparking murder thoughts. But was he really that nuts to throw his bright future away, killing his girlfriend in a rage? Plus, the brutal killing didn't look like a rookie's work, more like a pro serial killer's moves. On that, cops got answers fast. Remember we said Blake was a writer? In 2010, he released a dark graphic novel called Syndrome, super bloody and cruel. The book's cover had a doll with its head cut off. It started with, "If you like hurting people, what did you do?" and ended with, "We all become monsters," with a sloppy big hand drawing. Creepy. Iana's death almost exactly matched bits in that novel. It had a sketch of a woman on a blood-soaked bed, scalp peeled off. Plus, Blake's friends said since he was little, he was hooked on crime stuff, especially Hollywood's nasty murder tales. In movies or books, he wrote that way. Maybe another motive was making his novels' ideas real art. Blake even planned to bolt after the murder. He cleaned the apartment good and hid $4,000 cash and a passport in his pants. If not for Olga's stubbornness and non-stop cop calls, he might have fled to Canada. June 2018, after nearly 2 years of digging, this case that rocked and buzzed Hollywood finally hit trial. Shockingly, Blake showed up fat and bloated, clearly comfy while locked up waiting. He still swore he was innocent, like when first caught. In court, he even claimed mental illness to delay it. But after a psych check, Doc said his head was fine. The trial ran 6 days. Prosecutors brought 14 witnesses and stacked evidence. Blake's guilt was ironclad. They said in court Blake's acts were pure evil, the violence beyond words, just not human. He'd planned this sick murder off his own novel Syndrome. A pathologist testified this awful killing set a bar for cruelty and horror in wounds. June 26, the jury took just 3 hours for a verdict. The judge said Blake was guilty of first-degree murder and more, sentencing him to life with no parole. Hearing that, Olga broke down crying, standing frozen. This moment she'd waited for so long. She'd often hug her daughter's photo, sobbing, "Sorry, baby, I couldn't save you." Thing is, though Blake came from a big-deal family, only his brother Cody showed at the trial. Rest of the family was obviously done with him. Little Dahlia's fate sparked talk too, though Blake's kid and could inherit cash, her grandma, Olga, got custody. Though Iana wanted her daughter raised in America before dying, after her death, Olga couldn't stay in the US, so she took Dahlia back to Ukraine. Later, in a civil suit against Blake, the judge ordered Blake to pay Olga $41.6 million for losing her daughter and raising her granddaughter. But Olga said she hasn't got that money yet. Rumors say Blake's family settled with Olga in cash, deal amount hush-hush. Lastly, I'd say Iana's tragedy could have been dodged. Her mum saw something off early. When Olga first called cops, around when the coroner guessed Iana was killed, maybe Iana was still alive. Sad. The cops didn't take it serious enough, missing the key time to save her. Plus, while fighting Blake and getting mauled, Iana made big noises and screamed. Later talk showed lots of neighbors heard a woman's yells, but they didn't call cops, picking silence. That reminds me of a case I told, abuse of a maid in Singapore. That maid lost her rescue shot from cold apathy, tortured brutally and dying sad. This case ended with life, no parole. A close that still doesn't ease the huge loss for Iana's family, especially her mum and little girl now lost. This isn't just a murder, it's a loud warning about tons of life issues today. It makes us think, can cash and fame really buy happiness? Blake, born with it all, lost himself in gambling, drugs and bad desires. This mess has me stuck on how scary people's apathy is. Iana's cries got ignored, warning signs shrugged off, neighbors' silence, even the cops' slowness, on purpose or not, pushed Iana to death. Gut-wrenching. So more than ever, we gotta care more for those around us. Sometimes a quick check or kindness could save a life. Don't let cold apathy make us watchers of others' pain. From this I see abuse isn't just hits. It's mental control, sex pressure, money traps, all that. So we gotta watch for the tiniest abuse signs and not shy from speaking up, getting help for us or loved ones. Most of all, I think building. Characters top, rich or poor, kindness, decency and duty to others make a real person. Iana's story is a pain, a loss nothing fills. But I hope it's not just a sad tale. It's a lesson to live better, love more, guard our dear ones. I hope we don't pick silence over evil, 'cause quiet helps it too. Today's video ends here. See you in the next ones. Goodbye.